Leo, you haven't been overreacting, you haven't been too emotional, and you're definitely not falling apart. What's happening to you is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. Your heart is being summoned by the universe in ways that words can barely describe. And the intensity you've been feeling lately, the unexplained tears, the random waves of joy, the sudden bursts of anger, the moments where everything just feels too much, that's not emotional instability. It's emotional awakening. You're not going crazy, you're finally tuning in. And let me be clear, this isn't a video about astrology fluff, wishful thinking, or telling you what you already know. This is a transmission, a soul message. And if you're still here reading these words, it means your spirit brought you here because you're finally ready to understand the truth about why your emotions have been running higher than ever before. Because Leo, there is a reason you were born under the sign ruled by the sun. There is a reason you feel everything in full color while the world seems stuck in grayscale. There is a reason your emotions burn hotter, deeper, and brighter than anyone around you. And that reason is about to become very clear. But let me warn you, if you only watch the beginning of this message, you'll only get a surface answer. To receive the full truth, the one your soul came here to remember, you have to stay until the very end. Because at the end of this journey, something inside of you will click. And once it does, you'll never be able to see your heart the same way again. You've always felt different. You've always known you were meant for something more. And now, for the first time in a long time, the universe is confirming that you were right. Your emotions are not a flaw. They are your compass. They are the map, the fire, the roar leading you straight into your next evolution. And Leo, it's time. Part 1. The emotional upgrade you didn't know you were downloading. Leo, you're not just feeling more, you're being rewired. Over the past few weeks or even months, you've probably noticed that your emotions don't behave the way they used to. What once might have annoyed you slightly now sends a shockwave through your chest. What used to make you smile gently now brings tears of joy down your cheeks. And the situations that once made you feel powerful now make you feel raw, open, and strangely exposed. This isn't weakness, this is evolution. Something sacred is happening to your emotional body. It's as if your soul downloaded an upgrade you never asked for but deeply needed. And now all your internal systems are being recalibrated to process life at a much higher frequency. Let me give it to you straight. The emotions you're experiencing aren't just reactions to your current life. They are responses to a future reality that your soul already knows is coming. You are literally feeling in advance because your heart is being prepared for a dimension of love, power, and purpose that the old you couldn't have survived. This is why it feels so overwhelming. This is why it feels like too much. Because in many ways, it is too much for who you used to be, but not for who you are becoming. Right now, the universe is increasing your emotional bandwidth. Your capacity to feel love, lead, and impact is being stretched like the lungs of a newborn taking in air for the first time. It's intense, it's painful, but it's necessary. You are being trained not just to experience emotion, but to embody it, to become a living, breathing example of what it means to walk this earth with a heart on fire and still stand tall. That is Leo's real power, not just to shine, but to shine while feeling everything. You've always had a strong emotional system, but now you're becoming emotionally solar. Every emotion becomes light, every tear becomes heat, every ache becomes ignition. This is the emotional language of the sun. And because you are ruled by the sun, you weren't designed to feel in shadows. You were designed to radiate even when your heart is trembling. So if your emotions feel louder, messier, or more unpredictable than ever, don't panic, don't shut them down, don't ask, "What's wrong with me?" Instead, pause, breathe, and ask, what am I being prepared for? Because no one goes through this much inner intensity without something massive on the horizon. Leo, you are being coded to receive an extraordinary destiny, but that destiny can't land in a heart that's walled off or emotionally unprepared. So the universe is stretching your emotional system until it can hold what's coming, a level of connection, impact, and power so radiant that the old you would have been blinded by it. You're not breaking, you're being expanded. You're not spiraling, you're being sculpted. You're not too much, you're just waking up. And in this first phase of awakening, the emotional upgrade you're receiving may come with glitches, surges of joy, drops into sadness, spikes of rage or tenderness. But this is only temporary. You're not malfunctioning, you're rebooting. And what comes next is the version of you that this world has been waiting for. Life lesson: your emotions are not here to control you, they're here to expand you. The more willing you are to feel deeply, the more capacity you unlock to lead to love and to live a life that is soul-aligned, not socially acceptable. Don't fear the waves, they are shaping the shore of the life you were always meant to walk on. Part 2. The hidden power behind your sensitivity. Most of your life, Leo, you've probably been told you're too much. Too emotional, too intense, too dramatic, too reactive, too passionate. And maybe you started to believe it. Maybe you started shrinking. Maybe you learned how to tone it down, how to hide the storm inside you just to make others more comfortable. But here's the truth. No one told you what you've been calling too sensitive has never been a flaw. It's a gift, a power, a radar system of the soul that was built into your Leo spirit from the very beginning. Your sensitivity isn't weakness, it's awareness. While others walk through life half asleep, disconnected from themselves and those around them, you feel everything. You feel joy before it fully arrives. You feel grief before it's spoken aloud. You sense betrayal before it's revealed. You feel love deep and pure before anyone dares to say the word. This isn't drama. This is data, spiritual data. Your sensitivity is how your soul communicates with the world. It's how your higher self warns you, leads you, protects you, long before your logic can catch up. That flutter in your chest, that ache in your gut, that surge of tears you can't explain. They're not malfunctions, they're messages. Messages that come from a deeper source, one that doesn't care about appearances, timing, or social approval. But here's what makes it even more powerful. When you stop fighting your sensitivity and start listening to it, it becomes your greatest superpower. It becomes clarity. It becomes truth. It becomes vision. You start to walk into rooms and feel the energy before a word is spoken. You know who's lying to themselves. You know who's craving love but hiding it behind pride. You know when someone is about to break because you feel the cracks in them echoing the ones you've survived yourself. This is Leo's emotional genius. You don't just sense, you see. You don't just feel, you know. And that knowing makes you powerful in a world where most people are lost in numbness. The key is this. You have to stop apologizing for it. Stop calling it overthinking. Stop calling it being soft. Stop letting people who fear their own emotions make you doubt yours. Because the truth is, your heart is your greatest asset, and your sensitivity is your divine intelligence. When a Leo lives disconnected from their emotions, they become aggressive, performative, hollow. But when a Leo trusts their sensitivity and learns to move with it instead of against it, they become unstoppable. They become emotionally magnetic. Others don't just see their light, they feel it. They feel seen, heard, understood, inspired. And that's when your Leo nature becomes something bigger than just charisma or confidence. It becomes medicine. Medicine for the numb, medicine for the closed-hearted, medicine for a world that's starving for authenticity. Because let's be honest, we don't need more people who fake strength by hiding their pain. We need people like you who show the world that real strength is the courage to feel and still shine. Life lesson: your sensitivity is not an emotional liability. It is a divine language that lets you understand what others can't even name. Don't silence it, sharpen it. Because when Leo fully owns their emotional perception, they become the soul compass others have been waiting for. Part 3. Why the universe is using emotion to awaken you. Leo, let's get one thing straight. The universe doesn't make mistakes. It doesn't randomly flood you with feelings. It doesn't overwhelm your heart without purpose. It doesn't throw you into emotional chaos just to watch you struggle. Every wave you're feeling now, every rise and fall in your emotional tide is intentional. It's spiritual engineering. It's the sacred way your soul is being pulled out of survival mode and into awakened living. See, the universe knows how to get your attention. For some people, it whispers. For others, it uses logic. But for you, for Leo, it uses emotion, because your heart is your most powerful portal. Emotion is the language you actually listen to. Not just ideas, not just theories, but the pulse, the ache, the swell in your chest that says something is happening. Pay attention. And right now, that emotional wave you're riding isn't random. It's a spiritual alarm clock. You are being awakened. Awakened to what? To your purpose, to your true essence, to a level of leadership expression and connection that can only be unlocked through emotional truth. Let's be honest, you've been running on autopilot for too long, smiling when you wanted to scream, helping when you felt empty, staying silent when your soul was begging you to speak. But now that suppression is breaking down, the walls you built to keep yourself together are crumbling. And though it feels like everything's falling apart, what's really happening is that you're being freed. Freed from the false identity that told you you're only lovable when you're strong, you're only worthy when you're needed, you're only safe when you hide your depth. The truth is, Leo, the world doesn't need a version of you that's in control. It needs the version of you that's alive. And the only way to bring that version out, the real you, is through emotion. Emotion is not weakness, it's energy, it's motion. It's the movement of your soul trying to break through the surface of your life. This is why you've been crying out of nowhere, why your anger flares unexpectedly, why moments of beauty make you feel like the universe itself is speaking directly to you. Because it is. You're being activated to love without holding back, activated to express without editing yourself, activated to stop performing and start living. And here's the deeper truth. Emotion isn't just about you, it's about others. Your emotional awakening is the beginning of a ripple effect that will touch everyone around you. Because when a Leo wakes up, when a Leo allows themselves to feel without shame, they become a living torch. You light up dark rooms, you thaw frozen hearts, you give others permission to feel what they've buried for years. But first, the universe has to melt you open. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Your sensitivity isn't a wound, it's a key. And the key doesn't work if you keep it locked away. So if you're feeling too much right now, if life feels raw, loud, messy, uncontrollable, you're not off path. You're right on schedule, because the universe awakens lions through fire. And your fire is emotional. Life lesson: when you feel deeply, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're being called. Emotion is your initiation, not your enemy. The more you lean into what you feel, the more access you gain to the life you were born to live. The life that only wakes up when your heart does. Part 4. The 3 emotional missions of Leo Deacons. Leo, not all lions are the same. Even though you all carry the same sun-ruled flame in your chest, that flame was lit at different angles of the zodiac sky, and that difference matters. Because depending on when you were born within Leo season, your heart came coded with a specific emotional mission. These missions are not random. They are calibrated, chosen, assigned by the cosmos for one purpose: to awaken a part of the human emotional spectrum that the world has forgotten. So if you've been feeling more than usual lately, it's because your emotional mission is being activated, and it's time to remember why your soul chose this path. Leo Deacon, born July 23 to August 1st. Mission: the courage to feel first. You are the emotional pioneers. Born closest to the Cancer-Leo cusp, your soul carries a unique fusion, the deep waters of Cancer emotion and the blazing fire of Leo power. You don't just feel deeply, you feel first. You often sense what others are afraid to admit. You walk into rooms and intuit energy like sonar. You cry when others haven't even realized something is sad yet. You love before there's proof it's safe. And for most of your life, you've paid the price for that. People may have misunderstood you, calling you dramatic or unstable. But the truth is, you were sent ahead of the rest to light the way through emotional terrain no one else had the courage to walk. You are the emotional scouts, brave, raw, and open-hearted. And right now, your mission is being reactivated. You are being called to lead with vulnerability, not in private, but publicly. To show the world that sensitivity is not only strong, but sacred. Life lesson for Deacon 1. Feeling before others isn't a curse, it's a calling. Your emotional sensitivity is prophetic, not pathetic. The world will catch up later. You were never meant to wait. Leo Deacon 2 August 2 to August 11th. Mission: the fire of creative emotion. You are the emotional artists. The second decan of Leo is ruled not only by the sun, but influenced by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, meaning, and divine purpose. You feel your emotions in colors, in movement, in sound. Anger becomes poetry, grief becomes painting, love becomes music. Every feeling you carry transforms into expression. But here's the paradox. You're often overwhelmed by how big your feelings are. You want to contain them, explain them, make them neat. Yet they keep bursting out in unpredictable ways because they were never meant to be controlled. They were meant to be created with. Right now, your emotional system is being upgraded not to become more logical, but more visionary. You are being asked to alchemize your inner chaos into something that inspires others. That's why you've been feeling creatively restless, emotionally stirred up, because there is a work of art inside you, and it's not just a project. It's a path, a message, a healing frequency only you can channel. Life lesson for Deacon 2. Your emotions are not obstacles to your creativity. They are the creativity. Don't try to shrink them, shape them, share them. Let the world feel what only you can express. Leo Deacon 3, August 12 to August 20 says, Mission, the power to lead through heart. You are the emotional anchors. Born in the final arc of Leo season, your soul carries the most mature essence of Leo energy. Your emotions don't erupt as quickly as others, but when they do, they're deep grounded, undeniable. You were born to be the emotional lighthouse. Not flashy, not performative, but steady, strong, and, most importantly, real. For years, you may have played the role of the strong one, the one who doesn't cry, who holds it together, who listens while everyone else falls apart. But here's what the universe is asking of you now: to lead from your heart, not your armor. To drop the mask of control and show what's real beneath it. To stop managing other people's emotions and start honoring your own. To be the leader who doesn't hide emotion but models it with integrity. Because when you Deacon 3 Leo allow yourself to feel and be seen in it, others finally realize that strength and softness can coexist. Life lesson for Deacon 3. You were never meant to carry everyone else's emotions while ignoring your own. True leadership is not about holding everything in. It's about holding space starting with yourself. Each deacon has its sacred mission. Each emotional intensity is the activation key, and each Leo is being summoned now not to compete with each other, but to complete the emotional spectrum that only your sign was designed to hold. You are not being broken. You are being called. Part 5. How to lead from your heart without breaking. Leo, you've always been told you were born to lead. And it's true, you were, but not in the way the world usually defines leadership. You weren't made to dominate. You weren't made to manipulate. You weren't made to sit on thrones built from control. You were made to lead through presence, through energy, through the magnetic force of a heart that refuses to close even when it has every reason to. Right now, the emotional intensity you're experiencing is not just personal, it's preparing you for something greater, a type of leadership that the world desperately needs but rarely understands. Because what the world calls strong, unshakable, emotionless, unaffected is not true strength. True strength is standing in front of others with your whole heart visible and still choosing to speak love instead of fear. True leadership is not hiding your pain, it's transforming it into healing for others. This is what you're being trained in now, Leo. You are being taught how to feel deeply without drowning, how to care deeply without collapsing, how to express deeply without exploding. You are being taught the art of emotional endurance, not suppression, not bypassing, but the sacred act of staying open in a world that rewards numbness. And it's not easy, because when you lead from the heart, you will often feel alone. You will feel vulnerable, exposed, misunderstood, but you will also feel something most leaders never do: alive. There is a rare kind of impact that only comes from someone who is emotionally awake. People may forget what you said, they may forget what you did, but they will never forget how they felt in your presence. And if your presence radiates emotional truth, you become unforgettable. The truth is, your leadership doesn't begin with a title. It begins with your willingness to be fully you, even when it's uncomfortable. You were not made to wear armor. You were made to walk into rooms with your chest open, your voice steady, and your light undeniable. But here's the key. Leading from the heart does not mean you let yourself be destroyed by others. It doesn't mean self-sacrifice. It doesn't mean becoming emotionally reckless. It means knowing your emotional boundaries. It means honoring what your energy can carry and what it cannot. It means leading with heart, but not without wisdom. You are not here to bleed for the world. You are here to light it up. And you can only do that when your heart is fully alive, not broken, not blocked, not burnt out. So ask yourself, where have I been leading with a mask? Where have I traded my truth for approval? Where have I believed that being too emotional disqualifies me from being powerful? Because Leo, your heart is not a liability. It is your crown. And when you lead from that place, you don't just influence people, you awaken them. You give them permission to lead their own lives more truthfully, more boldly, more openly. Life lesson: true leadership is not about controlling others, it's about mastering yourself. The more you understand and honor your own emotions, the more powerfully you can inspire others to do the same. When you lead from your heart with boundaries, with courage, and without apology, you become the kind of force that doesn't just lead moments, you lead movements. Part 6, the Phoenix Phase, breaking to become whole. There's a moment in every lion's journey that feels like the end. A moment where nothing makes sense, where the roar gets stuck in your throat, where even your fire feels cold. If you're in that space right now, Leo, you're not failing. You're in the Phoenix Phase. It's the sacred breaking, the emotional collapse that doesn't destroy you but reforms you, the cosmic unraveling that tears down everything you've outgrown so that what's truly you can finally emerge. This isn't weakness, this is alchemy. See, most people fear the breakdown, but for Leo, the breakdown is sacred. It is the gateway to becoming whole again, not in the way you were before, but in the way you were always meant to be. Let me be honest, you can't carry your next level in the old version of you. The identity that was built on people-pleasing, pretending to be okay, holding it together for everyone else, that version was never designed to hold the magnitude of joy, love, and power that's about to enter your life. So the universe is burning it away. That's why you're crying more than usual. That's why your body feels tired, heavy, slow. That's why memories from years ago are resurfacing. That's why you feel like everything is crumbling, because everything that is false is being cleared. And yes, it hurts. Let's not pretend otherwise. The phoenix doesn't rise until it's first been turned to ash. But that ash, it's sacred. It's the proof that something is dying in you. And that's exactly what must happen for your soul to be reborn. Right now, Leo, you are in the fire. Not the fire that destroys, the fire that forges. The fire that turns gold from stone. The fire that activates DNA coded for brilliance. The fire that melts away who you were trained to be, so who you truly are can take the lead. You may not recognize yourself during this phase. You may feel like you're disappearing, like everything you used to believe about yourself is fading. Good. That's the point. You're not losing yourself. You're shedding the version of you that was built to survive, not to shine. You're not here to survive anymore. You're here to live out loud, to love without walls, to walk like fire, to create like a divine force, to exist unapologetically, not half-lit, but fully ablaze. This Phoenix phase will leave you changed. It will strip your ego. It will humble your heart. It will break the parts of you that were built from fear. But when you emerge, you will be unstoppable. Because the kind of Leo who rises from this isn't just strong. They are sovereign, rooted, radiant, untouchable in their authenticity. And what's more, your fire, once wild and chaotic, becomes focused. It becomes intentional. It becomes the flame that lights the path for others who are still lost in the dark. Life lesson: sometimes you have to break apart to remember you were never just one thing. The pain you feel in the Phoenix phase is not destruction, it's design. It's the universe sculpting you into the version of yourself that can finally hold the life you were born to live. Don't fear the ash, you're becoming something unburnable. Part 7, Emotional Mastery, Leo's Gift to the World. Leo, you've been through the fire. You've broken down, risen, and learned how to lead from your heart. And now, you stand on the edge of something most people never reach: emotional mastery. But let's be clear, emotional mastery does not mean you stop feeling. It means you stop fearing what you feel. It means you no longer see emotions as distractions, but as directions. You no longer judge your tears, your anger, your tenderness. You honor them. Because now you understand your emotions are the keys to your genius. This is the part of your journey where you become powerful not in spite of your feelings, but because of them. You've learned to ride the emotional waves without being crushed. You've learned to sit with discomfort without abandoning yourself. You've learned to love without clinging to feel, without drowning, to shine without burning out. That's mastery. You are no longer ruled by emotional reactivity. You are guided by emotional intelligence. You don't need to control others because you've mastered the most sacred territory yourself. And this mastery, it changes everything. In relationships, you become someone who can truly hold space, not fix, not rescue, but witness with compassion and clarity. In your career, you no longer seek validation because your decisions are rooted in truth, not approval. In your purpose, you become a mirror for others to see what's possible when you lead from your soul. Leo, this is your gift to the world. Not your charisma, not your looks, not your charm. It's your emotional radiance, the warmth of someone who has walked through fire and come out loving even harder. Someone who doesn't flinch at pain but listens to it. Someone who doesn't run from intensity but channels it into art, love, vision, leadership. You are the emotional sun. And like the sun, your power isn't just in how bright you shine. It's in how consistently you rise every single day, no matter what storms you've weathered. That consistency, that courage, that clarity, that's the gift. The world is emotionally starving, Leo. People are numb, disconnected, afraid to feel. And then you walk in glowing, open, unapologetically alive. You don't just shift the room, you heal it. But remember, emotional mastery is not about perfection. It's not about never being triggered, never crying, never losing it. It's about knowing how to come back to yourself, how to anchor in truth when emotions storm through, how to lead yourself through any inner chaos, and in doing so, inspire others to do the same. Life lesson. Your greatest power was never just in your voice, your talent, or your presence. It was in your heart and your willingness to let that heart stay open even when the world gave you reasons to shut it down. Emotional mastery is not about control, it's about connection. And when Leo becomes emotionally connected to themselves, they become the most powerful force of love, light, and leadership the world has ever known. Conclusion: you were always meant to feel this much because you were meant to love this big. Leo, you made it to the end, but the truth is, this isn't the end at all. This is the beginning of a completely new way of living. A way of living where your emotions are no longer your enemies, where your heart is no longer your weakness, where your sensitivity is no longer something to hide but something to honor. You've walked through the storm, you've stood in the fire, you've cracked wide open and faced what many run from. And through it all, one truth has risen above every tear, every breakdown, every powerful wave inside you. You were always meant to feel this much because you were meant to love this big. Your emotional depth isn't a malfunction, it's a map, a blueprint to the exact kind of life your soul came here to create. A life that's not small, safe, or half-lived, but radiant, bold, messy, alive. The world may not understand it. Some may call it too intense. They may flinch at your fire, shy away from your light, or mislabel your depth. Let them, because while they guard their hearts, you've chosen to open yours. While they settle for safety, you've chosen to burn for truth. While they numb, you feel. While they hide, you shine. You don't live in grayscale, you live in gold. And that is the mark of someone who has not just survived emotion, but mastered it. From this day forward, Leo, everything changes. Because now you know what your emotions were trying to tell you all along. You are here to lead a life that touches others. You are here to feel with such honesty that others feel safe to do the same. You are here to remind people simply by existing that the heart is still the most powerful force on earth. And that's what you've just remembered. So now the question is this: what will you do with this gift? Will you keep it to yourself, or will you step into the version of you that was always waiting just behind the fire? The version that doesn't just survive life, but sets it on fire with meaning, purpose, and joy. Because that's the Leo you were always meant to become, and you just became them. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment below, tell me what part of this emotional journey hit home for you. Let other Leos know they're not alone, that they're not crazy, that they're waking up. And if you're ready to keep unlocking your cosmic gifts, hit that subscribe button now. Because here on Leo Zodiac Power, we don't just talk about the stars. We become what we were born to be: raw, real, radiant, and utterly unforgettable.